What's going on, everyone? I'm finally back from my 4-day vacation, and as promised, I did say I was going to come out with a brand new video once I came back, so here it is. And because I said that DC character histories were going to come out every Wednesday, since I was not capable of coming out with one this Wednesday, I have decided to drop one now so that I can start the Wednesday releases from here on out. So today's DC character history is all about Isis, and she has strong affiliations and ties with Black Adam and the Marvel family. She's technically considered to be part of that family as well, because most of her powers do coincide with the Marvels. Now, don't be confused if you're not that familiar with DC. In DC, Captain Marvel is generally associated with Shazam. It's just another name to call Shazam. You can either call him Shazam, or you can call him Captain Marvel. And inside the Marvel family, there are tons of different sorcerer superheroes. You've got Black Adam, you've got Captain Marvel, you've got Mary Marvel, you've got so many different characters that go by that name. So no, do not be confused. Captain Marvel is Shazam. It has no affiliation to the Captain Marvel in the Marvel universe. So, kicking it off, the amulet of Isis was gifted to Adriana Tomaz, which made her Isis. She was the master of elemental power and the Queen of Khandaq. She is the wife to Black Adam, and since the Black Adam movie, starring Dwayne Johnson, has just finished production, we will in fact see Isis in this film portrayed by the beautiful Sarah Shahi. So since this movie is approaching, why not learn a little bit of who Isis is and what we may expect of her in the film. And as always, let's look at a little bit of character data around Isis. So she's somewhat of a newer character, you could say. Her first debut was a comic called 52, and she debuted in issue number 3, which was May of 2006. Her real name is Adriana Tomaz. Her base, where she's usually stationed, is Sharuta, Khandaq. Her height is 6'1". Her weight is 135 pounds. Eyes and hair are both brown. Powers and abilities: super strength, flight, mastery of the elements, healing, and so much more. Allies are people like Black Adam and someone else called Osiris, and her enemies are people or gangs such as Inner Gang, Death, and the 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse. So this is her story. Adriana Tomaz and her brother Aemon were Egyptians enslaved by a group called the Intergang. The Intergang was a well-known crime enterprise scattered across the world. Their main base was stationed in Metropolis. Intergang had access to many alien weapons and technology for their crime ring. Unknown to many members of Intergang, their group was primarily used to assist Darkseid in finding the anti-life equation. So a specific division of Intergang was centered around Egypt and Middle Eastern countries. As a gift to Black Adam, Intergang sold Adriana and $2 million in gold to Black Adam. He obviously accepted this offer, freed Adriana, and killed the emissaries who came before him with the offer. Noticing that Adriana was not fazed by this, she was not afraid, and she was actually very vocal, she discussed with Adam on how he could change and make Khandaq an even better city. After weeks of discussion, Adriana successfully changed the way Adam looked at the world. Adam clearly took a liking to Adriana, so Adam retrieved the amulet of Isis from the graves of his deceased wife and children and received help from Shazam, or Captain Marvel, to empower the amulet of Adriana. This amulet was used generations ago by Queen Hatshepsut, for which she tried to bring peace to her kingdom. Exactly what Adriana would use this power for in Khandaq. Adam gave Adriana the amulet, in which she held in her hands, and said, "I am Isis," giving her the powers of a goddess. She can control the weather, and it can be changed depending on her moods. She can heal nearly any wound, and she has extreme strength and the ability to fly. She can even grow plant life or control water and substances or rock inside of Earth's core. She is extremely powerful with tons of different abilities. So after she gains these abilities, Adriana and Black Adam began to liberate enslaved children all across the Middle East in hopes that she would eventually find her brother. After spending plenty of time together, Adriana changed Adam into a much kinder man. He was no longer a fearful dictator, but much more of a role model and hopeful leader of Khandaq. Realizing how much of an influence she had on him, Adam proposed to Adriana and were wed by Shazam. After this, Adriana finally finds her brother Eamon. Her brother was tortured by a woman assassin named Whisper Adair for refusing to join the Intergang and attempting to escape multiple times. Whisper has a snake-like appearance and was once part of the League of Assassins. Isis was unable to heal Eamon's wounds since they were far too severe. Black Adam told Eamon to yell out his name, and in doing so, Eamon is struck by Shazam's mystic lightning, turning him into Osiris. Eamon becoming Osiris basically turned him into Black Adam Jr. Now reunited with her brother, Isis decided to change the world, starting with China and making her way to every country from there. Her brother then gives the idea not to just change the world, but to change the world's perception and ideals of Black Adam and their Khandaq family. Isis takes her brother's advice and convinces Adam to have a public revealing of their identities and a discussion of their good intentions for the future to the world, increasing their popularity and showing off their good intentions in many different ways. That opinion is not shared by everyone. Amanda Waller is not convinced by their good intentions and forms a new Suicide Squad. Waller sends the Persuader to attack Isis. The Persuader has a radioactive axe that temporarily stunned her godly powers. Osiris arrived on the scene and lost control of his emotions and cut the Persuader in half, saving his sister Isis. Isis takes Osiris away from the scene, but photographic evidence starts to sour the opinions of the world towards their family. To make matters worse for them, in the coming weeks, the 4 horsemen of apocalypse attacked Khandaq. The 4 horsemen represent famine, war, pestilence, and death. Engaging Adam, Isis, and Osiris in battle, Isis becomes diseased by the horsemen, pestilence, and Osiris was not only killed, but eaten by famine. Yeah, that happened. And while suffering from her sudden disease, Isis defends Black Adam from the horsemen, Death. With 3 of the horsemen dead and Death being chased off by Isis, in her dying moments, Isis asks Adam to exact vengeance for the deaths of her and her brother. Several weeks later, an unknown figure is seen taking the amulet of Isis. Within the amulet, you do see Adriana stuck inside. With Black Adam's quest of vengeance, he chased the last horseman, Death, to a Middle Eastern country called Bialya. Here is where he defeated Death, which resulted in death to millions and the annihilation of the country. This was felt across the world, which caused massive conflict. It was also up to the Justice League and Justice Society of America to put a stop to Black Adam's madness. This resulted in Shazam stripping Adam of his magical powers. 1 year later, Black Adam retrieves Adriana's body and brings it to a Lazarus pit found in the Himalayan mountains. When her skeleton is entered into the pit, she emerges as she was before, but her skin quickly rots away and she dies for a second time. Suddenly, her bones disappear and are transported to Dr. Fate's tower by a sorcerer named Felix Faust. Faust tells Adam that the amulet of Isis is broken into pieces and scattered around the world, and that if he can find them, the amulet along with Adriana's body will survive the Lazarus pit. After finding all the pieces, Adam tries it again and the exact same thing happens. Adriana's body rots away. This was all a trick by Faust since he has the real remains of Adriana. And now that that he has the amulet, Faust brought her back to life and imbued spells into her which made her a mindless drone for all of Faust's wants and needs. It was then revealed that Faust was imprisoned by Dr. Fate in this tower, and that with Isis's abilities, she could help him escape. And it was also revealed that Faust treats Isis very badly. And you're probably thinking, what does that mean? I'm not going to get into details on what that means, but I think that will become clear when I tell you what she does to him. So, continuing, with Black Adam still mourning the death of his wife, he spots a bloody flower near their family shrine. Clearly trying to communicate with him, Adam finds more flowers shaped like a Shazam lightning bolt pointing in a direction he must go to find her. Adam finds Faust and Isis and demands Faust to release his control of Isis. When control is released of her, Isis is far from the person she once was. She ends up castrating Faust for his actions towards her. That should be answer enough for what I meant when I said he mistreated her. Once Isis is freed and back with Adam, they both travel to the Rock of Eternity, where the entire Marvel family gain and receive their power. Once they get there, they find Shazam, and they strip Shazam of his powers and send a powerless Billy Batson to Earth. They in turn regain their full powers and become how they once were again. They plan to cleanse the Earth of all evil in their own way. Members of the Marvel family try to stop them, but Isis manages to recruit some of them for their plan. People like Mary Marvel. The Justice Society travels to the Rock of Eternity to help put an end to this situation, but Isis brutally attacks the members who arrived, and even throws Jay Garrick Flash into the mist covering the Rock of Eternity, which there is no escape. The fighting is brought to Khandaq, and during the fight, Adam's followers are happy to see him just before Isis kills them, saying they are tainted by the evil of this world. Adam, now trying to protect his people from Isis, is now being attacked by Mary Marvel and Billy Batson, who have both been tainted by Isis's power. Jay Garrick Flash manages to escape the mists of the Rock and arrives with the spirit of Shazam, where he convinces Adam to return his power to Shazam and the Rock of Eternity and save Isis from this corruption. The corrupted power is removed from Mary Marvel, the spirit of Shazam returns to Billy, and Adam and Isis are turned into statues. Then, in the Brightest Day storyline, Isis's brother Osiris was resurrected by the White Lantern entity. Osiris then returns to Khandaq in hopes that he can return Khandaq back to its prosperous state and to revive Isis and Black Adam from the statues they have been put in. Osiris is told by the White Lantern entity that he was resurrected with the purpose to find a way to remove Adriana from her encased state. Osiris and the group of Teen Titans he has with him ally themselves with Deathstroke. Deathstroke lies to Osiris, making him believe that he can revive Adriana and Black Adam. While he hopes for Deathstroke's help, he has specific dreams and hallucinations that tell him killing specific people will lead to her revival. Even though it's not something Osiris wants to do, and his guilt plays a big role, these killings happen nonetheless. When Isis reunites with her brother and the world, her first words to Osiris are, "What have you done to me?" The killings that Osiris unfortunately had to commit were made in Isis's name, which caused her soul to be corrupted. She was no longer the kind, caring, and passionate person she was. She is now cruel and evil. Isis goes on a rampage and starts to destroy the world. Desperate to end this way of life that she can't seem to end or avoid, she chooses to commit suicide by being struck by lightning. Just before it strikes her, Osiris jumps in front of her and takes the main impact. When they awake, the corruption is no longer within Isis, making her the good person she once was. but now she feels that corruption in Osiris. Eventually, the Justice League follow Deathstroke and his Teen Titans to Khandaq, where they have an all-out fight. Putting a stop to the madness, Isis assumes control and rightful rule of Khandaq. She orders both groups to leave and that she will be removing Khandaq from the United Nations. And if anyone were to oppose, World War III would be in effect. The Justice League and Deathstroke respect her wishes and they leave. Isis also tells Osiris that he is no longer welcome to Khandaq because of his bloodlust. So that's the character of Isis, and I don't really know if the new continuity, DC Rebirth, has any plans or is even writing about Isis right now, but most of her story does come from that 2006 era. When I knew I was making the video about Isis, I only knew a little bit about her. I knew things like she was the wife to Black Adam, I knew she had superpowers, of course, like strength and flight, but I actually didn't know how intricate her character was and how many different powers she had. Not only can she control the elements like water, earth, and fire, but earth is the big one. She can literally manipulate Earth's core and change things to how she would see fit or to her benefit. I was very surprised on how powerful she truly is. But that is it for this video, guys. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you liked it, or if you like this series in general, because this is now the 5th episode, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, every Wednesday there will be a brand new episode of DC Character Histories. But like usual, I will see you in the next video, and I will talk to you all very soon.